After Gonzalo from the weekend faded and fizzled in the Caribbean, and Hannah, which struck just south of Corpus Christi, Texas, we're now void of named tropical systems. But that does not mean it's going to stay that way for a lengthy amount of time. We can always hope it does, but evidence tells me otherwise. And it's this blob of moisture, especially this concentrated batch of moisture on the southern flank here, that kind of gives me that evidence that before too long we could certainly have another named storm, or at least the first step coming our way, a depression in the Atlantic, in the southern latitudes, roughly 900 to 1,000 miles from the Windward Islands. The water vapor, telling us how much moisture is in the atmosphere in general, does have healthy amounts of moisture within that system, but there's a massive amount of dryness which may actually hinder its strengthening efforts. That would be a good thing if it kind of slows it down, but there is some evidence also that it could overcome that batch of dry air and, if anything, just maintain its overall moisture accumulation as it moves to the west-northwest. Now, this is forecast guidance based on computer modeling. It doesn't really factor in the amount of strength, but it does have a general tendency to move west to northwest over time. And this freezes at the Saturday 5 p.m. time frame, where a lot of the track suggests that we could see a movement near the Greater Antilles, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and then maybe curving to the northwest over the Bahamas. That's factoring in that high pressure ridge that may weaken a little bit on its western end. And it's not set in stone. It's still several days out. So a lot of things will likely change in that thinking. Next name on the list, I've been telling you for a while, that's a tricky one, but it's Isaias. That's the name we're going to be discussing if it reaches tropical storm level. Elsewhere in the tropics, the western Atlantic is fairly quiet. We still have those sources of tropical moisture being scooped up from the remnants of Hannah, being flung into the lower Mississippi Valley. And the Caribbean is fairly quiet as well, as the remnants of Gonzalo are pretty much faded out, not likely to redevelop into anything big.